What if I told you that the greatest invasion in history was almost a complete disaster? On June 6, 1944, the fates of the World War II teetered on a knife's edge. The Allies were about to launch the largest amphibious invasion ever seen, with everything meticulously planned. But here's the kicker. Almost none of it went according to plan. Welcome to D-Day, the day that almost didn't happen. Hi, I'm Haskell. Today, we're diving into one of history's most dramatic and chaotic military operations. D-Day was more than just storming the beaches. It was a high-stakes gamble with twists and turns that would make any Hollywood script look tame. In this video, we're peeling back the layers of Operation Overlord to reveal the unexpected decisions, crazy coincidences, and frankly, dumb luck that made it work. In the next few minutes, we're gonna talk about the grand plan and why it was doomed from the start. Then, we're gonna talk about the unexpected weather and the decision for the Allies to go anyways. And then, how the deception and a fake army fooled the Nazis into believing that the Allies were landing somewhere else, and the unsung heroes and the key moments that turned the tide. It was June 6, 1944. The Allied forces, consisting of American, British, Canadian, and Free French troops, were about to embark on a mission that would turn the tide of World War II, known as Operation Overlord. This was the Allied codename for the plan to invade Nazi-occupied France and reclaim it from German control. Well, why did they want to invade France? The Allies wanted to liberate France from Nazi control to weaken German forces and open up a Western front, which would force Hitler to fight a two-front war. The hope was that this would take pressure off from the Soviet Union, who had been bearing the brunt of the Eastern Front. What were the countries involved? Over 156,000 Allied soldiers participated, including troops from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, and Free French forces. The key players included United States General WWII Eisenhower, the Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, and British General Bernard Montgomery, who led the ground forces. Well, in France, why did the Allies choose to invade Normandy specifically? Normandy was chosen due to its location and less fortified defenses compared to other coastal regions. The Allies used deception tactics, part of Operation Fortitude, to trick the Germans into thinking the attack would occur further north at Pas-de-Calais. The original plan for Operation Overlord involved simultaneous landings on 5 beachheads, codenamed Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword, along a 50-mile stretch of the Normandy coast. The goal was to secure each beach and link up within 24 hours, creating a continuous front line. Well then, why was it called Operation Overlord specifically? The name signified the sheer scale and ambition of the operation. It reflected the Allies' intention to not only just breach German defenses, but to overwhelm them entirely and gain a foothold in Europe that could lead to ultimate victory. The following section is said in General Eisenhower's perspective. It's June 5th, 1944. I'm standing over the map, staring at the Normandy coast, knowing that a decision has to be made. The weather is terrible. Stormy seas, gale force winds. Some of my top advisors, including Admiral Bertram Ramsay, are advising against it. This is not looking good. We spent months planning every detail, and now it seems like nature itself is conspiring against us. I know the risks. If we delay, it could give the Germans a chance to reinforce their defenses. But if we go, we could be sending thousands of men to their deaths. Admiral Ramsay and the others are concerned about the stormy weather. Delaying the invasion by 24 hours would mean recalculating every element of the operation, potentially costing lives and resources. I took a deep breath. We go tomorrow, I said. My officers looked at me, some with relief, others with concern. I could sense the weight of the decision, but I knew it was our only chance. General Montgomery, General Bradley, we need this to work. Tomorrow we make history. Eisenhower chose to proceed, banking on a brief break in the weather predicted by meteorologists, but would give just enough time to launch the assault before the storms returned. This decision was a gamble that would go down in history as one of the most daring of the war. D-Day was filled with moments of incredible bravery and unbelievable luck. One of the key heroes was Major John Howard, who led a glider assault to capture Pegasus Bridge. Holding this position was crucial to prevent German counterattacks from the east. Despite fierce resistance, Howard's men held the bridge, a key victory on that chaotic day. There were many Allied heroes on that day, like Brigadier Simon Fraser, who led his troops while playing the bagpipes, and paratroopers like Dick Winters, who rallied his men after being dropped miles off course. They disrupted German lines and sowed confusion between enemy lines. One of the German soldiers stationed in Normandy was Wilhelm von Oppeln-Brunnikowski, who was far from expecting an attack. He knew something was off when reports started coming in about paratroopers landing in fields all around him. Oppeln-Brunnikowski faced the challenge. He could attempt to organize a resistance or retreat to save his men. Ultimately, he tried to rally his troops, but the surprise and confusion caused by the airborne landings left them vulnerable and disoriented. Could this be an invasion? Surely they won't risk it in this weather. But the reports keep coming in. Paratroopers in Sainte-Mère-Église, bombings at Ponte du Hoc. I have to act. D-Day didn't just change the course of World War II. It reshaped the world order. As the Allies pushed back through France and eventually into Germany, they liberated Europe from Nazi rule. The success of D-Day marked the beginning of the end for Hitler's empire. For D-Day's influence on the rest of World War II, it forced Germany to fight on multiple fronts, weakening their defenses and setting the stage for the Soviet advance from the east. It accelerated the Allied momentum, which would eventually lead to the liberation of Paris and the fall of Berlin in May 1945. For its broader impact internationally, after the war, the cooperation between Allied powers began to crumble, leading to tensions between the United States and the Soviet Union. This alliance, held together by a common enemy, dissolved as capitalism and communism clashed. The seeds of the Cold War were sown, with D-Day marking the beginning of the new alliance and rivalries. D-Day was more than just a day in history. It was a turning point. It changed the fate of nations, created heroes, and reminded us that even the best laid plans can hinge on a single moment of decision.